society works, we have regional networks, and each particular region tries to organize things besides what the Secretariat in Banmo does. And part of this, we have a small steering group or committee of sorts on the African region. Over the last, I think at least 2 or so years, we've been receiving directly grants from TrustAfrica. But I think, just to take you a little bit back, the relationship between ISG and TrustAfrica goes far much earlier than that. A couple of years ago, Becky was actually almost literally trying to organize getting African scholars, especially younger ones, into international conferences. Part of this was to ensure that younger researchers in Africa at least get an opportunity to interact with other scholars in the field of philanthropy, in the field of civil society research and such other things. And one of the things about being a scholar on the African continent is how limited the resources are. So TrustAfrica was among the few people to put some money on the table and say, we're willing to support this. And then one of the things that Becky tried to do was to not just continue the mobilizing or organizing for people to go. He said, you people, you need to get organized on your own. And we took that as a challenge. We continued organizing, and a conference on the African soil for the first time, I think, since a couple of years ago. TrustAfrica and a couple of other organizations, including Southern African Trust, Fund Foundation, IDRC, were kind enough to, and the University of Stellenbosch were willing to put in some money so that we could have a conference. And it brought in quite a wide group by African standards. We were, I think, almost 40 of us in Stellenbosch for 6 days in total. And TrustAfrica was the biggest donor in this particular arrangement. So again, quite grateful. And the way we organized the conference was, besides exposure to older academics, or more established academics on these particular areas, civil society research, research in philanthropy, research in giving and volunteering and such other things, was to ensure that we had a training element. And this particular training dealt with how do you approach research in these particular areas in Africa when, one, we have theories that are not necessarily developed on the continent, and so we're trying to borrow theory so that we can be able to tweak it and see exactly how can it be able to serve our needs, or what modifications do we need to, what other creative ways can we be able to work with what we hear while still maintaining the African feel to it.